Hey there, Jim Gavigan, Industrial Insight. It's been a little while since you've heard from me, at least talking about data. I've been on kind of a golf kick here lately, talking about some of the lessons I'm learning in golf and how it relates to data, but I'm irritated today. I have a rant. I don't usually have rants, but I have a rant today. Um, as you guys know, we've been advertising, we're doing these data fidelity studies. We think it's very, very important that people understand what kind of data is coming into their systems because it's going to cost them if they don't. And I have a perfect case for that today. So, so we've been doing one for a chemical company. And whoever set this up, I don't think they were thinking this through. Well, as a matter of fact, I know they weren't thinking this through. They thought they were doing the right thing. I'm not going to lie. They thought they were doing the right thing here, but they weren't. So what we have is a chemical plant where everything that's coming into the pi system is coming in at a half-second rate. It's on advise, which is good. That's a good thing. I don't know if trend advise is on because I haven't had a chance to look at the interface. And if you guys don't know what trend advise is and why that's important, link below and you'll see why if you're on the YouTube channel. But I'm gonna give an example right here of why this is not always a good thing and why collecting more data is more often than not a bad thing than a good thing. Now, that being said, when we're doing these data fidelity studies, we always tell customers, if you're going to err on the side of collecting too much data rather than not enough. But there's a limit to that. And you're going to see what I'm talking about here in a second. So here's my rant. So I have highlighted on the screen here a signal that the observed 0 is 2.2. The observed span is 0.7. Okay, so between 2.2 and 2.9 are the values that has been observed by Compression Insight during the time that this study has been running. I want to say we promoted this one about 10 days before we took this snapshot. They had gotten just over 1 million raw data points and stored 408,079 of them. Think about this, 408,000 ways to say your reflux ratio is about 2.5, between 2.2 and 2.9. 400,000 in 10 days. Between 2.2 and 2.9. So I had to look up, I'm not a chemical engineer. What is a reflux ratio? So it has to do with the distillation column, okay? It is defined as the ratio of the liquid returned to the distillation column divided by the liquid removed as product. That ain't going to change in half a second, y'all. And I see so many people in large continuous processes want to preach today because it's all going to go to the cloud, and the cloud and all that compute power is going to fix everything. Store it as fast as you can. It's better. BS. And those of you that are making that recommendation, I got 3 pieces of advice. Well, first thing is, please hand me your keyboard. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hand me your mouse. Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, step away from your computer. I got 3 pieces of advice for you. 1, go find a different line of work and stay out of our business. That's 1. A little harsh. 2 is stay in your lane. Don't recommend the stuff if you're not going to have to deal with the data and understand what it is you're doing. Or 3, and I think the most important thing, is educate yourself on the backside of this and what's that going to do to the customer and how they're going to be able to ingest the data. Now, some people are going to jump on me, the AWS crowd and the Azure IoT crowd are going to say, yeah, but this is why you don't use a Pi system and you use the cloud and use AWS and use all this other stuff. I don't care what system you put this in. I don't care. The problem is you got way too much data to tell you the signal hasn't moved. Why? Now you scale this out to millions of sensors and you have this kind of fidelity, you have a problem. I don't care what system you use. Your data, you're going to pay a really expensive data scientist to go clean your data. That's like me deciding, oh, you know what, we're going to move. I'm going to go ahead and we've got a pretty decent sized house, but we're going to downsize. And I'm going to take all the junk that I've collected over my 20 years of marriage. I'm going to throw it in that house. I'll figure out what to clean out later. No, I'm going to have a yard sale. I'm going to figure out, am I keeping any of this crap or am I going to throw it away? We do that in our personal life if we're not hoarders. This is data hoarding, is what this is. It's data hoarding. There's too much junk. And it floors me. I mean, this is a bit of an extreme example, but I'm going to show you another example. And, the customer agrees. They're like, yeah, this is way too much. Like, we don't need this much amount of information. And what I really worry about is data retrieval. And I don't care, somebody comes in, 2 years from now, data scientist, and says, give me all your data for 5 years. Give me a 15-minute average of everything. I mean, at half a second, let's just say you only store 1 out of every 2 at 50%. Okay, so you have a 1 second storage. I mean, that's 60 points times 15 minutes. That's 900 values to calculate every value you want to keep, for a 15-minute average. That's a lot. Oh, I want 2,000 tags for 2 years. Do the math. And I don't care. Honestly, I don't care if you're using a cloud system and it's got all the infinite horsepower in the world. You're still going to pay for it. You're going to pay more than you should. You're still going to pay for a data scientist to clean out all the crap that you don't need and that they don't need. And it's going to be a lot harder. I'm a big believer in cleaning the data as it comes in, getting it right as it comes in. That's the key, okay? That's why we're doing these data fidelity studies, and that's why we think it's important.